Phase 3 now, the Obama climate change redistribution of wealth scheme. The president wants all Americans to pay up a $10 tax, ingeniously disguised as a fee, on every barrel of oil produced in the United States.
We're going to impose a tax on a barrel of oil, imported, exported, so that some of that revenue can be used for transportation, some of that revenue can be used for the investments in basic research and technology that's going to be needed for the energy sources of the future. Then 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, we're going to be in a much stronger position when oil starts getting tight again, prices start going up again. We will have further weaned our economy off of dirty fuels.
It's brilliant. So this new Obama tax would bump the federal gas tax total to 43 cents a gallon. That's a 136% increase. Death and taxes, the two certainties in our constitutional republic. The death part, we can't control. But the taxation part, we can. And one way to control it is through an Article 5 Convention of the States to amend the Constitution. Joining me now from Marysville, Tennessee, Convention of the States, Tennessee Director, Scott Williams. Scott, I guess we have some breaking news from Convention of the States, and it's out of Tennessee. Congratulations. Tennessee is joining the first five states in the Union to officially agree to participate in a Convention of the States.
Well, Graham, thank you for having me on today. Tennessee is actually number 5. We join our sister states, Alabama and Alaska, Florida and Georgia, in passing our application. We did this on Thursday, last Thursday, the 4th, and the vote was a 59-31 vote. So overwhelmingly, the Tennessee state legislatures have sided with us and seeing the need for an Article 5.
Okay, so why the 31? Why the 31 opposed? I just don't understand that. Is this largely a partisan issue? Was it mostly Republicans supporting this and Democrats opposing?
We had a majority of Republicans supporting with us. We had a few Democrat co-sponsors of the application because they recognize that it's time to put Washington back in their box. They've gotten completely out of control. We did have some opposition from some more statist kind of positions like some of the Democrats will hold. Mm-hmm. And then we had a number of good conservative Republicans who were opposing on Article 5 because they have unfortunately been fed for decades wrong information on what an Article 5 is and what it can and can't do. So unfortunately, they were voting from a basis of fear that an Article 5 could get out of control. And the reality is there are too many checks and balances in the system that our founding fathers put into place. And ultimately, I am far more fearful of an out-of-control federal government than anything we in the states can do.
Oh, absolutely. Some of what I hear is a runaway convention, and this is nonsense. Unless 34 states want there to be a runaway convention, there ain't going to be a runaway convention. And really what this is all about, to boil it down, is restricting the power of government and restricting our elected officials, correct? And that is, for example, term limits.
Well, I hope we have time for this, but really, in a nutshell, Article 5 itself is neutral. Any group can call an Article 5 for any reason, but the topics all have to be the same. Our particular topic is to limit the power and jurisdiction of the federal government, put fiscal restraints on the federal government, and to limit the terms of its officials to include Congress. So that's lifetime appointment for judges and the bureaucracy. Any of that is up for debate. But it's always limiting. There's nothing that could increase the scope of the power the federal government has. So it's limited by the topic. It's limited by the states that choose us. 34 states all for an Article 5 application. They come together. They're coming together for the same call. If someone introduces something in that convention that's outside of the call, the state legislatures aren't going to be very happy about it because that's not why they called it.
Right.
So they're
For example, when people
It's
say,
not-
oh, they could repeal the Second Amendment, it's not going to happen. It's just simply not going to
No,
happen.
no,
You're going to
that
have
would-
13
that-
states that are going to oppose that. So let's move on. What is the secret sauce that Tennessee had to get this thing moving? Because we've had 4 states who've approved this for it was about a year since now we have the 5th state in Tennessee. So what do you recommend other states do to get this process through?
Well, I'll tell you, we had some phenomenal grassroots support. We had people engaging in the political process that had been disenfranchised from decades and had not been involved for a very long time come back into the fold. They saw hope, they saw vision, they understood the process, they took the time to educate themselves, and when they saw the brilliance of what our founding fathers laid out, they said, this is the answer. This is, for lack of a better term, Revolution 2.0, a moral, legal, civil way to put government back in its box. That's what our founding fathers gifted us with. And when they saw that, they jumped on board. And we've got thousands of volunteers all across Tennessee that have been contacting their state legislators, willing to come to the Capitol, willing to write letters, willing to make the phone calls when it mattered. And that's what did it for us here in Tennessee.
Well, hopefully it's replicatable to the other states, and we can get a quorum, if you will. We need 34 states, and so 29 more, and we're at critical mass.